An insane amount of superhero movies are releasing over the next couple of years, so here's the ones I'm most and least excited for. Easily one of my most anticipated is Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. After how amazing the first two are, you know this one's going to be just as good. One of the things I'm most excited about seeing in this movie is Gwen with the original gang from the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, like seeing Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and all the other ones again is just going to be so cool. We're going to have Miles still being chased by Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, while he's also trying to stop Spot from killing his father. I feel like this movie is going to be similar to Dune Part 2 because Across the Spider-Verse set up so many things that this movie can just hit the ground running and just be going on 100% the entire runtime. On the flip side, one of my least anticipated is the new Craven the Hunter movie from Sony. If you don't know, Craven is a Spider-Man villain, but there's gonna be no Spider-Man in this film. I am a huge fan of Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's gonna be playing Craven, so for him, I'm actually decently excited just to see what he can do with this role. Outside of the Venom movies, I'm sorry, this Sony formula they have going of taking these B and C list Spider-Man villains and characters and making their own movie where they're like these anti-heroes instead of actually fighting Spider-Man, it's just not good. Plus, this was originally coming out in August and they just delayed it back to December, so who knows how bad this is and how many reshoots they're doing. This is just going to be a complete mess. These are in no order, by the way, but another one of my most anticipated is the Fantastic Four movie coming out next summer. I think they absolutely nailed the casting for the main four, and these are some of the most iconic Marvel characters of all time. It's about time we actually get a good movie with them. I hope they keep this whole aesthetic they have going on in these kind of posters. It's not all good for the MCU though, because Thunderbolts is one of my least anticipated. Listen, I like a lot of these characters that are up here that are going to be teaming up as kind of this anti-hero villain team. Like, I'm especially excited to see characters like Ghost again. I feel like she was super underutilized in the MCU, only being in Ant-Man and the Wasp. We get John Walker, who I think was incredible in the Captain America and Winter Soldier show. Bucky and Yelena are in this. Like, the recipe is there for it to be good, but this just seems like a disaster waiting to happen for me. Because right now, this is leaning towards looking like it's going to be a PG-13 version of the Suicide Squad movies, which is not something that draws my attention at all. And plus, they changed the name from Thunderbolts to Thunderbolts with an asterisk, and they're not telling us the real name until after it's released. So I think it's probably going to end up being the Dark Avengers, which could be cool, but I don't have much hope for this. Batman Part 2, I've talked about a ton on my channel. I am super excited for this. I think The Batman Part 1 was an incredible movie. The only thing I want in this film is them to stay away from Joker, just do any of the other Batman villains and keep it fresh, like Mr. Freeze, even Killer Croc. Like Hush, Clayface, there's so many villains that have been underutilized in Batman movies that I would just love to see in this to make it incredible. On the flip side, the Batman Brave and the Bold movie is one of my least anticipated. And if you're wondering, yes, this is going to be a separate Batman movie in James Gunn's new DCU with a different actor playing Batman. But listen, this could be a completely fine movie, but with how much I love the Batman and we're getting a part 2 and probably 3 of that, I really just don't want another live action Batman at the same time. The director of this movie is also who did The Flash, which gives me absolutely no hope for this one. Positives for the new DCU though is the new Superman movie. It used to be Superman Legacy, now it's just Superman. I think they've absolutely nailed the castings for the new Superman and Lois Lane, and James Gunn seems so passionate about this, like he truly wants to make this an amazing movie, and I think he's gonna pull it off. Really, all I ask of this movie is we just have a simple, wholesome Superman movie. Like, I don't want him to be turning evil or him being the villain of the movie like we've been doing lately. Just have him be a super good guy like everybody knows him as. Sadly, I cannot get myself to care about Venom 3, which is now called Venom The Last Dance, which is just such a laughably stupid name. Like, why does bro think he's Michael Jordan? I actually really like the first Venom. Like, it's stupid, but I have a great time with it, and the second one is even worse, but I still have fun with it. But I think this series is kind of just running out of steam, especially when you keep having Venom without any Spider-Man. If they somehow do bring like Andrew Spider-Man or something into this, obviously it will become more anticipated, but it seems like this is just going to be another movie where they keep teasing like, oh hey, there's going to be a Spider-Man and MCU connection, just for there not to be any at all, so I'm not really excited for it. You asked me like a month ago, Joker 2 would have been on my least anticipated movies list. I could not care about this at all, honestly, and it's releasing in a couple months, especially with the reports saying that it's going to be like a musical and there's going to be like over 15 different songs in this, and like Lady Gaga being Harley Quinn. I was like, I don't know how to feel about that, but after the last trailer, I'm honestly all on board. The visuals were on point in the trailer, and it actually looks like this is going to be a really cool just like mental journey into Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and I cannot wait for it now. Let me know in the comments what your most and least anticipated superhero movie is. If I get another positive one, I am super excited for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, again a new James Gunn DCU film. Millie Alcock, who you might know from the House of the Dragon TV show, is going to be playing Supergirl, and I think this is just an A+ casting. Outside of like a different dimension Supergirl in The Flash, we have not seen a proper Supergirl movie in a long time, so I feel like this is long overdue. And of course, in a couple months, we have Deadpool and Wolverine, which I cannot wait for. This being R-rated, bringing that Deadpool humor and different action is exactly what the MCU needs right now. Make sure to subscribe for more.